السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم معنا اليوم الدرس الرابع عشرة. So now we're on lesson 14, and again inshallah I'll read the dialogue and then highlight the important points of this lesson inshallah. So نبدأ من هنا. من بالباب؟ أنا طالب جديد. أدخل. ما اسمك؟ اسمي همايون. همايون؟ كيف تكتب هذا الاسم؟ اكتبه على هذه الورقة. يا أستاذ، ها هنا عقرب في الفصل. أين هي؟ انظر هنا يا أستاذ، هي تحت مكتب هشام. اقتلوها يا إخوان. بما نقتلها؟ اقتلها بحذائك يا هشام. أماتت؟ نعم ماتت. اجلسوا يا أبنائي، اقرأ الدرس يا علي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. خلق الإنسان من علق. يا أستاذ، حفظت هذه السورة. أي سورة أحفظ بعدها؟ Here it says أحفو. Should be أحفا. This is a mistake in the book. Should be أحفظ بعدها. احفظ سورة التين. خذ دفترك هذا واكتب فيه سورة العلق. يا أبا بكر إنك نعسان. اذهب، not الضمة. اذهب should be سكون. اذهب إلى الحمام واغسل وجهك. افتح النوافذ يا عبد الله، فإن الغرفة مظلمة والجو حار. جيد. So today we're going to start learning al-fi'l al-amr, the command verb, and we have udkhul, the first one, okay, uktubhu, second one, انظر, اقتلوها, اقتلها, اجلسوا, اقرأ, خذ, احفظ, واكتب, اذهب, اذهبوا, اذهب, واغسل, افتح. We'll discuss why this iftah has kasra, not sukun. Okay, we'll discuss that also within this lesson, inshallah ta'ala. So that's the command verbs within this dialogue. That is what we're talking about today. Then we also have ajib al-as'il al-atiya, answer the following questions. Sahih ma yali, correct that what follows. This is again derived from this dialogue, inshallah. So says تأمل أبو بكر لأبي بكر. Okay, that is just showing you again the Asma al-Khamsa, something we've discussed before, how it changes from Abu Bakr when it's meant to be Kesra, it's li Abi Bakr. It takes Ya as a sign of Kesra instead of just Kesra. And that's only when it's Mudaf Ilay. If you cannot remember what Mudaf Ilay is, then go back to Medina Book 1, Lesson 5, inshallah. So we'll see the other exercises emphasizing the command verb, the fi'l al-amr, the form of the command verb, how we form that type of verb, inshallah, in the next pages, bi'idhnillah. So here it says, اقرأ ما يلي. So now we'll look at how we form the command verb. It says, أنت تكتب. تكتب, اكتب. We take away the present tense letter, the harf al-mudari'ah. Then we're left with sukun, ta, sukun. We always put sukun on the last letter of the present tense verb. So it has sukun on the ba, okay? Now we realize we cannot start a word with sukun. So we add the hamzatul wasl, okay? And we have uktub. It's dhamma because the middle letter is dhamma. However, you never write hamza on top of this alif. You don't write hamza on top of this alif, okay? And the vowel sound of this alif depends on the middle sound of the verb. middle sense of the verb, middle sound of the verb. Okay. So anta tadkhulu becomes tadkhul, and it becomes dukhul. So we have to add the alif again, udkhul. So the first thing that we do is put sukoon on the last letter of the verb. Then we delete the present tense letter, which is at the beginning of the verb. And then we look at, do we need to add the hamza or not? Okay. So ukhruj min al-fasli. So read these just to look at the forms of the command verb. And if you want, you can write the verb it's derived from, just as a reminder, inshallah. So these are basically alif, all of the ones that have dhamma, the verbs that have dhamma in the middle letter. Okay. Then the hamza, the helping hamza, the hamza al-wasl, will have dhamma. Then we have those, the second type ba, those that take kasra in the middle. So anta tajlisu, tajlis, jlis, so we have to add the hamza, ijlis again, so now it's going to be kasra. Okay. And then there's more examples of verbs that follow that pattern. Then we have jim, when it's what the verbs that have fatha in the middle. So anta tadhhab, idhhab, okay. Anta tadhhab, idhhab, taftah, iftah. And then you have more examples of verbs that take fatha in the middle letter to follow, inshallah. You have examples up until here, 12 examples. Okay. Then we have صغ الأمر من الأفعال الآتية, form. Okay, here there's a point to make. أنت تأكل, أنت تأخذ. Okay, these verbs are special because they start with hamza. We delete both the present tense letter and the hamza, and that's how we derive the command verb from those verbs that have hamza at the beginning in the past tense. So we delete both the present tense letter and the hamza, and then we're left with kul, khudh. From ta'kulu, kul. Ta'khudhu, khudh. Okay? That's just a point to note, inshallah. Then here it wants you to form the command verb from all of these verbs. And this goes on to the next page as well. So I'll just give you an example. Qatala yaqtulu. Okay? So then here, because it's dhamma in the middle, I'm going to say it has to have this alif, the helping alif, and then here's going to be dhamma. Okay, here's going to be dhamma. I don't write the hamza on top of it, sukoon on the qaf, and dhamma here, sukoon here. Uqtul. Okay, so that would be qatala yaqtulu uqtul. Now we have sami'a yasma'u. So here is fatha in the middle. So I have my alif hamza al-wasl, that is the helping, because it can't start with sukoon, and becomes isma', because anytime it has kasra or fatha in the middle, in this letter in the middle here, then we start with kasra. Okay, we start with kasra. So قاتل يقتل اقتل سمع يسمع اسمع. That's the command verb. Okay, listen. So practice that, apply that rule to the following verbs, inshallah, on this page and the page to come, and that way you just learn the verb. Generally speaking, you learn the verb in this form: past, present, command, or sometimes past, present, the masdar, which you're going to learn later. Okay, so these are of the ways that we learn the verbs. But in general speaking, you learn the verb by past, present, command. In madi, mudari', amr, inshallah. So we'll see what comes on the next pages regarding the command verb, inshallah. So again, as I mentioned, you have plenty more verbs to practice with. And here it says hamzat al-amr, hamzat al-wasl, فلا تكتب فوقها أو تحتها علامة الهمزة إلا في الفعل الرباعي. فعل الرباعي, we'll learn this later. That means a verb that has 4 letters. That is, the past tense is 4 letters originally. Okay, or a 4-letter form of the verb, which we'll come to later. These are all 3 letters, fi'l al-thulathi. They all have 3 letters, okay? So we don't write the hamza, this sign, on top of the alif in the command verb. So here it says ta'ammal ma yali, ponder over what follows. Now remember I said to you, I mentioned why did iftah have kasra, okay? Basically, the end of the command verb is sukun. Any word that starts with alif and lam is also sukun, okay? So we can't have 2 sukuns in a row. So what do? I put a kasra on the command verb as a helping vowel. So I say uktubid darsa. That's just a helping vowel because there's 2 sukuns in a row. هذا ما يسمى التقاء الساكنين. This is referred to as التقاء الساكنين. When 2 sukuns meet in a row, this is not allowed in the Arabic language, so we put the helping vowel, which is the kasra, in this instance. So اقرأ القرآن, اشرب القهوة, and you will read the following and ponder over this rule. As in this exercise number 6, you need to read these sentences. I would advise writing it out as well, like writing the vowel sounds out, where you will need to apply this rule of adding the kasra as a helping vowel if the word after it has sukun, because alif and lam is sukun. That's the reality. It's only mentioned if it starts a sentence. If it comes after something, it's not mentioned, okay? As you can see here, for example, ijlis, it says udkhul, enter. Now, because this is a hamza al-wasl, I don't say wa ijlis, I say wajlis. I skip this hamza al-wasl, okay? Because it has no vowel sound if it's not in the beginning. If it's in the beginning, then it's pronounced ijlis. But if we're not starting, if it comes after like wa, then we skip it. We say wajlis, okay? Wajlis. So that's something that you are. He says اقرأ ما يلي مراعيا قواعد نطق همزة الوصل وقواعد نطق الحرف الساكن عندما يليه ال. So here it says ponder over, read the following whilst observing the rules of pronouncing the hamzat al-wasl. Yani, as I mentioned here, اقرأ, or sometimes there's uktub here, okay? And when it's followed by the sukun is followed by alif and lam, we add kasra as a helping vowel. Again, you are to read all of these sentences and apply that rule that we just mentioned. It says اقرأ ما يلي, read what follows. اقرأ ما يلي. Again, يا حامد اذهب, يا إخوان اذهبوا, يا آمنة اذهبي, يا أخوات اذهبنا. So let's just ponder over this, okay? تذهب اذهب, تذهبون اذهبوا. We delete the ta, which is the harf al-mudari', the letter of being a present tense verb. But also the sign of sukun for plural masculine, okay, is deleting the noon. So we say idhabu. As we said, the sign of dhamma is keeping the noon. So the sign of sukun is to delete the noon, okay? Ya ikhwanu idhabu. Again, tadhhabina for anti, ya amina idhabi. We delete the ta, which is the present tense letter of the verb, and we also delete the noon, as that is the sign of sukun for these verbs. But when it comes to the feminine plural, we only delete the ta, which is for the verb, the present tense verb. As for the ending, it stays the same always. It says fixed. Idhabna. That noon is there to stay forever. So read these sentences, pondering over the differences between who you're giving the command to. Okay? Because this is, you can only give the command in second person anyway. So for now, we're only learning singular masculine, plural masculine, singular feminine, plural feminine. And as I mentioned, dual will be studied towards the end of the book, inshallah ta'ala. So read these sentences, pondering over these variations of the command verb for who you're actually giving the command to, inshallah ta'ala. Now here, ضع في الفراغ فيما يلي فعل أمر أو فعل أمر مناسبا. Now to test your skills, place in the empty spaces suitable command verbs. Suitable command verbs. Use the verbs from the lessons to help you, from this lesson especially to help you Choose a suitable command verb that will give a good meaning of these sentences. Inshallah, you have 11 sentences to practice with, plenty of practice. So for example, Al-Quran ya Maryam. So you say Iqra'i Al-Quran ya Maryam. That's an example of the first one done for you, and you'll follow the same pattern for the rest of them. There's ta'amal ma yali, ponder of what follows. Aqsam al-fi'l al-thalatha, the types of verb are three. Madin, past. Mudari'un, present. Wa amrun, command. Nahu, for example, ذهب, past. Madi. Yadhabu, mudari', present. Idhab, command. Then here's your kalimat al-jadida, your new words that you would have learnt within this lesson. Memorize them, start using them, and observe them in your language usage and production, inshallah ta'ala. And I'll see you guys next lesson. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Last point also. If you want me to personally check any of your exercises that you've done, just to make sure you understand it correctly, then contact me on my WhatsApp number that is on the contact page on the website, inshallah, and send me a picture of your exercise, please. Not a text in WhatsApp, just write it down and send me a picture of what you have written, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakallahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.